to know if you have a strong-willed child? Well, maybe you already kind of know you have a strong-willed child because sometimes it can be pretty obvious. I'm Nicholeen Peck and I teach parenting, specifically self-government parenting, all over the world, and we're going to be talking about strong-willed children in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about strong-willed children and what it really means to be a strong-willed child. And I want to share with you some solutions for some of the strong-willed behavior that your family can use and thrive with. So do you think you might have a strong-willed child? What does that look like to you? There are a lot of different behaviors that can be strong-willed. In fact, some strong-willed children are not angry at all. They're not even sassy at all. They might just say something to their parent like, I'm not in the mood for that. I don't think I want to do that right now. That is a strong-willed child. A child that has no problem telling what they want and expecting that that's going to be honored. That person is very smart, but they also are strong-willed enough to know not to get angry about it. Now, we usually see children having tantrums, maybe attitude problems, talking back to their parents. These things are typically considered to be strong-willed and not very hard to miss. But some of the more subtle behaviors can sometimes be missed. In fact, sometimes parents think, well, how can I correct my child when they're being so kind? How can I tell my child they've done something wrong when they're just not necessarily complying, but they're not really being angry or sassy either? Well, they're still being strong-willed. And here's the thing, strong-willed is not bad. Strong-willed is actually incredibly good. You need to know that. I'm a strong-willed person. There's no way that I would suggest to myself or anybody else that the route to happiness is to choose self-mastery over yourself unless I knew it was possible, unless I had chosen self-government for myself beforehand, and I have. This is the path that I'm always talking about for parents and for children, to find that family unity, that change of heart, and helping them learn to go in a direction that will be productive. But this self-government path is not for the lazy, it's for the strong. Now, of course, laziness can be conquered. Sometimes strong-willed people are just acting lazy. No, I don't want to. You tell them to do something and they just don't. It is good old-fashioned laziness, but there's a strong-willed bit behind that laziness. And that's the part that we always want to touch, because that's the part that helps them become the best version of themselves, that helps them become more powerful than all of those attitude problems may feel like they are in the minute. Strong-willed people do great things. We always revere strong-willed people. People who will do the hard thing for the long-term game. That they will look ahead and say, I'm going to help my family now to have good relationships then, in the future. That is a strong-willed, very deliberate action. And anyone can choose to develop more strong-willed tendencies. But there are some people that are definitely just strong-willed by nature, by genetics, maybe just because they live with you. You know, one thing I've found is that strong-willed people don't usually act too much different than their parents. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Before I get to some of the skills and solutions that I have for you for working with strong-willed children, I want to just let you know that I have so many resources on the Teaching Self-Government website. So be sure to go and look at teachingselfgovernment.com and look into some of those resources that I have there that will teach you even more than I'm going to be able to cover in this video. So what can you do to help this strong-willed child? Well, they need something to hold on to. They need truth. Strong-willed people are always looking for truth. So you've got to make sure that you give them a truth that they can recognize. That means you can't make it up. It's got to be a real one. So the real truth is that your family is meant to be a certain type of family, a certain group with a certain feeling. Present that to them. Help them get a vision of who they're becoming as this group, as part of this family. They also need truths about how to get their way. Do they know that if they learned a skill called disagreeing appropriately, that they would be able to get get their way more often, that they could convince you of things you may normally not want them to do. Maybe, obviously minor things, nothing morally wrong or something like that. But lots of times the children don't know that. They don't know that there's a way they can get their way without just going behind the scenes and being strong-willed and just not doing or talking back or whatever their particular behavior is. So teach them the skills that they need for success. There are 4 basic skills that I teach for parents to teach their children. And these 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. They are all based in true principles. The principle that I can instruct myself. I am supposed to tell myself what to do next. I can make a plan for how to get the best results for my life. Those are all truths that are contained in learning skills and following through. I can choose to be okay when things don't go my way. There's another truth. I can drop the subject in my own brain if I want to. That's another truth. So many times people get trapped in their emotions or in thought processes, anxieties, things like that. And those are real things, but you can teach someone what to do with those things. They can hold on to truth instead of feeding this same repetitive thought or emotion again and again that ends up leading them to push back against you. What's another truth? That you love them no matter what. That is a truth they must know. Even if they mess up, even if they make a mistake, you are always there for them. You will always understand, help them pick up the pieces, and move on. You're not there to condemn. You're there to help them move forward. That's what a good parent does. That's your role. So teach them their role and your role, and they will find truths that they can live by. Sometimes we don't teach our strong-willed children enough because we're so worried about managing them, because they seem so intense sometimes, and they always have to have everything be their own idea, right? But actually, they want leadership. They're craving it. The fact that they're trying to assert so much power is saying, I need a leader. They're trying to pick to be their own leader, but they're not prepared yet. They're not qualified just yet, because they're still a child. And isn't it beautiful that every child can't even get here without 2 teachers, without 2 parents, without a mother and a father? So we're the ones that need to lead them toward the self-mastery that they can accomplish. In fact, they thrive with self-mastery because it's full of truths. Speaking of self-government, I have a gift for you. In fact, I'm super excited about this. It's completely free. In the description below this video, there is a link to something called the Calm Parenting Toolkit. Go ahead and click on that link and it will take you to a mini course that will start you on your road to self-government. Yes, you need self-government in order to help them learn self-government. And the skills that I teach in the Calm Parenting Toolkit will prepare you to teach your children the skills that they need for their success as strong-willed people in this world. Click on the link now.